Hello everyone, so welcome to part 7 of endorsements and appeals in advertisement. And I'm going to talk now about comparative advertisement. So comparative advertisement is when we have two sides to the same ad, all right, and we'll compare one product to another. So a lot of times the audience does not already agree with the topic, all right from the beginning, because of the brand, because of the ad message. And we can see here, for example, on the right, comparative advertisement, but using a little bit of humor, comparing Pepsi to Coke. And many people would again immediately go against this commercial because they prefer Coke to Pepsi. Right? So immediately comparative advertisement can have this advantage. Also, there's many counter arguments that are anticipated on the ad, and therefore people anticipate the message that will be sent. Typically, the audience uses the competitor's brand, so therefore they might feel as well that they are being a little bit attacked. And the audience typically tends to be better educated with these kind of ads because you are showing them more information. So some considerations to use when using comparative advertisement. Here we have another example, although this one is more a little bit, it's comparative advertisement with a little bit of humor, saying that the clown from McDonald's goes to Burger King. They're these guys. All right, so make sure to use comparative advertisement if the audience does not have a prior preference for the comparative brand. In other words, use it if people don't already have the other brand as being the favorite. Second, use with low involvement purchases. In other words, things that request little evidence. You should not do comparative advertisement with high involvement products. For example, dishwasher detergent is a low involvement product because you don't spend too much time thinking about it, but buying a car is a high involvement product. Use the new brands that possesses distinct advantage over competitors. So if you're going to use this type of advertisement, make sure that your brand has something that is really different or really much better than what the competition is doing, because otherwise the difference is not going to be obvious. Only use if you have proper claims, if they are credible. In other words, you have test results, you have spokesperson, or you have two claims from both sides that allow you to do that. I remember, for example, that one of the supermarkets back in Portugal that is part of Groupe Auchan, the French group, they used to do a little advertisement where they would go to different supermarkets and buy the exact same list of products and then show you how much cheaper they were. Okay, so that was a great way, and it was something that had test results on it. Use this type of advertisement if your sales are static or non-comparative ads are inefficient. In other words, there's weak evidence that other types of ads are working. Use it in print versus broadcast media tends to be better. All right, and more reliable because you can display more information actually with sources and where people can find the test results. Not that people will actually look for that, but it gives you credibility to have the sources. And finally, have a relative framing of questions on comparative ad effects is important. In other words, make sure that you compare things on both sides. So if you define a variable, make sure that you compare them on both sides in a way that it makes sense why your product is better than the other product. So, okay, a great example of what I just mentioned is this advertisement by Burger King, all right, where they compare the Whopper to the Big Mac. And I think it's a great side by side. And as you can see, it works much better in print than it would work as a commercial itself, all right. So in terms of presentation order, it will really depend on how you do it, all right. So the first option you have in terms of comparative advertisement is when you have a low involvement product, so something that people don't think too much to buy. And in this case, you should have an order should be an anti-climax. In other words, your point is not try to create a story where you build up to a main message, but rather you immediately present your claims at the beginning and you explain why your product is better in a very direct way. And an example of that is the Whopper versus Big Mac that you have there. The second option is that you should never use is what we call the pyramidal, where basically you start with the worst, end up with the best, and you present your claims in the middle of the advertisement. Never use this kind of advertisement because, to be honest, it's horrible and it really does not work. Okay, really does not work, because it just makes the audience confused, and most of the times they don't know exactly what was your message during the commercial. Finally, the third one is when you have high involvement products like cars or houses. You should have what we call a climax order. In other words, you should build up your case and present the best solution right at the end. In this kind of cases, it's good to use emotions, and to actually, for this type of advertisements, it works much better on TV or videos than it works, for example, in terms of printed media. So there's also the point of when should the audience be able to draw their own conclusions, all right? You should not present what the best product is in certain cases. In certain cases, let the audience know by themselves what is the best product. And there are two such situations. When they feel that they are being manipulated or their intelligence is being insulted, all right? So therefore, be very careful with that. Let people make their own conclusions. Example here on the right. America has spoken. 7 out of 10 prefer to choose the taste of Progresso chicken noodle over Select Harvest chicken noodle. And here you're not making an insult to anyone. You're not insulting the 6 people on the right. Rather, what you're trying to do is to show the difference that much more people prefer the other one. And finally, never use it under high personal involvement. So in other words, if it's something that affects the personal ego of each person. In those two situations, never claim that you are better. Rather, just present the evidence, let people reach their own conclusions.
Guys, I'm so amped I could stay here for 3 weeks.
9 hours down, and we're almost in the door.
I think 2 people just left.
Why would they be leaving when we're only 9 hours away?
Yeah, I mean, this is an event.
Uh-oh. Blogs are saying the battery looks sketchy.
You know, if it looks the same, how will people know I upgraded?
4G? Is it 4G?
It doesn't say.
Whoa. What she got there?
Not sure.
What is that? Guys,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, bro. Can we see your phone?
Sure.
Can I see with my hands? Have you seen this thing?
check out this screen. This thing is huge.
It's pretty massive.
And it's got 4G speed.
It's magnificent.
Samsung.
Samsung? That's a Samsung. Yeah.
I could never get a Samsung. I'm creative.
Dude, you're a barista.
Why don't you guys just get 4G phones? Why don't you just get a 4G phone?
Yeah, it's a Galaxy S2. This phone is amazing.
The Galaxy S2 from Samsung.
I have to say this is a great advertisement compared to a great advertisement from Samsung, in a way attacking the iPad, the Apple people. And even though that you might be an Apple fan, you have to agree that it is a funny commercial. I think that the main point here is that they are comparing the two different types of consumer that you have, the Apple consumer, the Samsung consumer, and saying the difference is there, but also at the same time presenting their product and not showing, but rather saying why is it different from the Apple phones. And if you notice, this is a climax situation because they don't make any claims or they don't say anything at the beginning. Rather, they build up and present their argument at the end. Why? Because cell phones are high involvement products. So to summarize, I would say that comparative advertisement is great, but it can generate a lot of problems indeed if not done right. I think it's one of the advertisements that you have to be the most careful about, because if you do something wrong, it can be more damaging to your brand than it is beneficial. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on our next video.